Desecration, and I'm joined now with Lady Fury of the Nashville Roller Girls. Now tell me, here we are, gorgeous Denver afternoon. You're here again as the number 3 seed in the South Central region, again facing off against the number 2 team from the West. Now last year that was the Ole Roller Girls, and you lost that game by 161 points. This year you're coming in and again playing against the number 2 seed from the West region, and against the defending Rocky Mountain Roller Girls. How have you prepared for this game this year?
Well, this year we have definitely played harder teams. We kind of put ourselves up against a bigger challenge. So we played harder teams. The only way to get better is to play better teams. We've done that. We've been lucky. We haven't had a lot of turnover. So it's a lot of the same girls that we had last season. So you can only get better with stronger teammates. It's really hard to talk. Sorry.
It's kind of loud in here.
It's really loud in here, but it's awesome. The energy's really great. But yeah, so that's what we've been doing.
Well, and on that note, you've had 5 losses this season, but 4 of them were against teams that are here today playing against the tournament. Now, you mentioned that that's helped out. Since upping the caliber of play, bring you to a new level. Tell me about that.
I definitely think that it does, because if you just keep playing teams that are just as good as you or not, you're going to plateau, I guess what we call it in the workout world. So the only way to get better and to learn new tricks is to actually get in there with the teams that are bigger and better and to play with them. Now we come out with a lot of new tricks, like I said before. The slow game was new to us this season. It's new to a lot of people this season, but we learned from playing the best, and now I think we got a pretty good handle on it. So we'll see what happens.
Speaking of tricks, have you done anything to prepare for this altitude?
We have. As a matter of fact, one of my most funny things I'm excited to tell you about is we had a whole practice where the majority of us skated with toilet paper stuck up one nostril so as to not have as much oxygen in our lungs. We have definitely been hydrating like crazy. We've been working out a little bit harder, a lot more cardio, so we can work on our endurance. And I think in the last 2 weeks, we've carved up significantly. That's my favorite part. It's carving up because you can eat just about anything. But yeah, so that's what we've done.
I hope there are pictures of that practice, because I would love to see an entire team of skaters running around with toilet paper up their nose.
We were pretty.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, Lady Fury, and best of luck. This game is going to be wonderful.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
And greetings, you sitting at home watching Roller Derby live on WFTDA.com. This is John Kool-Aid Porter, and I am joined by the often imitated but never duplicated.
They try.
They do try,
They
Bam
don't
Bam.
succeed.
Wow, so we started off with an amazing game so far, Bam Bam. We had an absolute barn burner. Lead changes back and forth, Charm City and Minnesota. The winner gets to go on to play Texas tomorrow at 9:30 right here Mountain Time in lovely Broomfield, Colorado. Coming up, though, we've got an interesting game. We have the defending WFTDA champion Rocky Mountain Roller Girls going up against the number 3 seed from the South, the Nashville Music City All-Stars.
Well, it's been interesting as well, because we have Rocky Mountain coming in not in that first as we saw earlier on. That has actually been put to Ole, so they're going to have that easy bye today. I think they're still flying in as we speak, but they're going to be here tomorrow, so that is why we have Rocky right now. So it is interesting. They are the defending champion, not on the top of the heap right now, but as we get underway very quickly, we're going to see how they are going to deal with Nashville.
Now, Nashville's had an interesting season, Bam Bam. They have played a total of 12 games this year in 2011, gone 7-5. However, of those 5 games that they have lost, 4 of those were against teams that are playing this weekend. They lost to Texas, Naptown, Minnesota, and Kansas City. So they played a very high level of competition. I don't think they're going to be scared necessarily by Rocky Mountain, but Rocky Mountain is no stranger to the situation they're in right now.
We are just about a minute away. We can quickly go through some of the lineups just to give you an idea of who is going to be playing for Rocky Mountain. We've got 00, Erkin Jerkin, 175L, Queen Elizabeth, 1972 Echo, 202 is Frida Beater, 21 Psycho Babble, 27 is Deranged, number 3 is Catholic Cruel Girl, 37 Bob Loblaw, 7423 is Triple Shot Misto, number 8 is Winona Fighter, 86 is Salt and Pepper, 88 She Who Cannot Be Named, number 9 Amanda Jamadinya, 9er Uber Alice.
And for the Nashville Music City All-Stars, number 10 Union Jack You Up, number 11 Captain Jennifer Smith, number 13 Leanne Crimes, number 13 Double E Susan, number 14 Rock Nasty, number 1970 Slayla, number 308 Britches and Hose, number 318 Four Leaf Roller, Number 33, Hildebeest. Number 36, Double D, Maulin Monroe. Number 5'3", Lady Fury. Number 99, Slammy Lou Harris. Number M60, Rambo Sambo. And Uno Stampede Gonzalez. The Nashville Music City All-Stars. Bam Bam.
Get a little bit of a rallying cry on the bench right there. Interesting mascot. I'm going to go, it is a wolf, based on the name Wolfie, so I feel confident calling that. Haven't seen that one before for Nashville.
Now, Rocky Mountain, remember, Bam Bam, has gone 7-2 in 2011. Their only 2 losses were both to Olympia. They lost in June by 45 points, and then that amazing game at the West Regional Playoffs when they lost by 37 to Ole. So they've gone undefeated but for Ole this year. We'll see if Nashville can pull what would probably be one of the biggest upsets since Kansas City won it all in 2007 in WFTDA's history.
In the black for Rocky Mountain, you have number 27, Deranged. Rambo Sambo in the white and blue for Nashville. First whistle gets him off the line. Jammer contact early on, getting a bit of a push to the outside. Rambo Sambo tries to go up the middle.
And Deranged up through on the inside. She is called for a major track cut. We've got a power jam for Nashville. Rambo Sambo still on her initial pass. She's up front. She's out. She's lead jammer. Rambo Sambo, who immediately calls it off, Bam Bam.
I think that was a fantastic idea. She was able to recognize that the jammer was going to be going to the penalty box, decides I have to play it smart, legal, gets herself into position, then calls it, so they're going to be able to start off with that power jam situation.
And coming to the jammer line for Nashville, briefly was Maulin Monroe. She comes back off as Rambo Sambo comes back out. So I guess I don't quite see why you would call it off there. If you're going to essentially reset, you'll burn off however many seconds it takes to regain lead jammer status of the power jam here.
I think that's actually a very good question. We're going to see if Rambo Sambo can do anything more than just gently glide into the middle of the pack. As she gets up in, pack starts to pick up some speed. Rambo Sambo now trying to see if she can get some assistance. Blocker's going to be able to come up and give her a little bit of a shove, but still has that wall of black in front.
She is. She's up front, 20 feet. She's out. Lead jammer Rambo Sambo for Music City. Still sitting is Deranged. Pack 4-on-4, slow moving as the pack comes into turn 4, Bam Bam.
As you can see on your screen right there, there's no real control happening right there. There's just that wall at the front, but it was broken up at the back. Nice bit of a defense right there. She has to go back around.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. Major track cut on Rambo Sambo. Power jam will end. Deranged to sat most of her minute, I do believe. Not standing yet, though. Rambo Sambo sits. Deranged takes off. So power jam now for Rocky Mountain.
It looks like she was just a little bit too slow to catch herself, so she's going to have to sit in the box. Now, Deranged has to make her initial pass. But as you had mentioned, she has served most of her time, probably close to 50 seconds. But as we can see, she's trying to get up into the pack right now. If she can get a push through, she might.
So Deranged is out. Remember, she will not be declared lead jammer status because Rambo Sambo already got that on her pass through the pack before she went to the penalty box. Oh, and right through, untouched on the inside line. Deranged for all 5 points. Grand slam.
You look at the clock and you say, she's got 47 seconds. How many times can she? Oh, she's already through for that first pass. Now she's going to come around for the second. See if she can get again. She has to pass everybody legally inbounds if she can get that other 5-point pass on this one.
Now, Nashville's got 2 blockers completely opposite of the track from the pack as Tripp calls some out of play, just minors though. Here's Deranged on another pass, Bam Bam.
Indeed, it looks like she is going to get through once again. Waiting for the hand to come up. That is 5 points. It's going to take them up to 15 points for Rocky Mountain as Nashville still sits at 0.
Rambo Sambo is out of the penalty box. She was on a scoring pass when she was sent to the track, so this is a scoring pass right now. Solid defense by Amanda Jamininyu forces Rambo Sambo out. She did get 4 points, but huge advantage there. Missed opportunity for Nashville's. They had a lead jam, they had a power jam, had lead jammer status and unable to capitalize it as they come at now 15-4 for the girls in black from Rocky Mountain over the girls in white from Nashville.
Well, I think that brings your point very much to the fore. Why did you call it off when that was the result? Now, I'm sure they planned for something else, but I think that's a great example of you think you have the advantage, you call it, it just does not play out that way. So as we have the jammers on the line, that is Maulin Monroe in the white and Triple Shot Misto in the black.
We are 5-on-5 on the track. Triple Shot stays on her skates. Triple Shot coming up front. There's a 2-wall, now a 1-wall. Triple Shot up. Nice defense by Nashville.
Again, still within the zone as they can. It can't get outside of 20 feet, but she's able to hold her very strong. She cannot get around until just at that moment. There she is, Rocky Mountain as your lead jammer.
That was Slayla with an incredible hold on Triple Shot Nisto. Held her for about 2 full laps around the pack. Triple Shot does finally get out. Mullen Monroe, meanwhile, Bam Bam, still on her initial pass through the pack.
Trying to see if she has a bit of an opportunity. She gets pushed to the outside. Very smart, calls herself. She's going to get back around. She does not want to get that penalty, as we see at the front. Now points going to go up, another 5 points for Rocky Mountain. In the meantime, Jammer at the back still for Nashville.
Here comes Mullen Monroe looking for her initial pass. She gets past 2, but she's got Amanda Jamaninia up front with able to withstand a nice hit there by Amanda Jamaninia. Meanwhile, Triple Shot back into the pack on a scoring pass, Bam Bam.
Looks like we still have one in the penalty box right now for Nashville. Jammer's finally through, but doesn't matter. It looks like Jam is potentially going to be called. She's looking for the bench. She does not quite. Looks like that indeed was the end of that jam. Looked like she got the call from the bench. She was just shaking her head, shaking it off.
Let's go ahead and thank some word from our sponsors. Of course, we would be completely remiss not to mention Dr. Hauschka, celebrating the fresh faces of the WFTDA. drhauschka.com.
So as we can see right now, Rocky Mountain with 23 points, Nashville sitting at 4. Just a few minutes into the game so far.
That is Frida Beater and Rock Nasty.
Rock Nasty gets stuck at the back. Frida Beater right next to her, trying to move to the inside. If she can get a big positional move to the out, seeing if she can make that push, and indeed she does.
So Frida Beater out for lead jammer. Rock Nasty working her way up. Gets past Erkin, does not get past Erkin Jerkin. Almost did, forced out of bounds. She has to recycle to avoid the cut. And here comes Frida Beater on a scoring pass.
Pack paying a lot of attention right now to the Nashville Jammer. Going to make it very easy for Rockies to get through. Picks up the 5 points. In the meantime, no ground has been gained by Nashville. Still trying to see if they're going to get any assistance. Not getting a lot of strong play help from her defense. Black holding a great wall at the front as here again comes Frida Beater.
Keeping the pace pretty slow there now as they creep through turn 2.
Frida Beater working with a 2-wall of Nashville up front. She goes down. And a major low block on Britches and Hose.
She goes to the penalty box. There's 2 come in for Nashville, so that helps even things out a little bit more, but we're still going to be down by 1 as 5 more points are going to go up for Rocky Mountain. That is going to rocket them up to 33.
And we have a minor track cut being called on Rock Nasty, but that was her 4th minor, so now power jam for Frida Beater with 39 seconds left in this jam. Frida checks to the bench. That's another grand slam. Rocky Mountain is about to begin putting the serious hurt on Nashville.
Nashville just trying to wait it out, seeing if they can just become obstacles rather than positional blocking. But as we see right there, 5 points, another grand slam continues. We just have a few seconds, 20 seconds, at least enough time for one more pass. Just going to kind of bridge that.
Nashville tries to set up a 3-wall in the back. Frida Beater forced out of bounds. Comes back in and calls off the jam. Goodness, Bam Bam. 47-4 with just 8 minutes down.
Well, Rocky Mountain already has 47 points, as we see up on the board there. The majority of those points have come from Frida Beater, particularly in that last jam. That we just have not a lot of penalties coming into play heavily for Rocky, though it looks like Nashville is starting out on a little bit of a low side compared to that.
All right, and coming to the Dr. Hauschka jammer line is Psychobabble.
Right in time for an official timeout.
Speaking of official timeouts, sometimes when I want to take a timeout, I look at Adam wheels. The most beautiful wheels in the world and the official wheels of the WFTDA, Adam Wheels. And of course, you can't have wheels, Bam Bam, without skates. What would be the point of having wheels if
that
you
would
didn't
be
have
really
skates?
tricky.
That would be silly. And if you're going to have skates, you should have Rydell skates. Proud partner and the official skate of the WFTDA, Rydell skates.
So again, as we can see here, Deranged has currently 15 of the points that are showing. We have Frida Beater already at 24, so they have been very devastating against Nashville so far. All 4 points came from Rambo Sambo right away for Nashville. So they're going to get back underway. Psychobabble on the line with a star on her helmet as Jammer is still in the box for Nashville. Rock Nasty is going to have to fulfill her penalty obligation, and she's going to be able to come back in.
And we had an official timeout there as one of the skaters in the penalty box apparently had a medical issue. It's been resolved, and we're back to it. Psychobabble up, through, and out. Lead jammer, Psychobabble for Rocky Mountain Roller Girls.
Pack did not even get an opportunity to get halfway around. Jammer's going to be still waiting. She is going to be standing right now for Nashville. Doesn't matter. Psychobabble takes the spin off that hit, is able to get back up. Another 5 points, points it out. Babe Ruth's it into the crowd saying, you know, I can do a couple more of these.
Pack is not moving at all. Rock Nasty is back onto the track. She comes back in to begin her initial pass, but here's Psychobabble. Both jammers take a spill. I hear some whistles. We'll see who goes. I believe it is Psychobabble. It is. Major block to the head. Psychobabble, we've seen her do that before, Bam Bam.
We have.
Advantage now for Nashville as Rock Nasty is back on the track. Remember, there will be no lead jammer as Psychobabble went to the penalty box, so we're going to go the full 2 minutes here.
Absolutely, it's going to be tough to see as Rock Nasty trying to get back through the front, though she just gets recycled over and over. Not because they're pushing her back, but just Rocky Mountain continues to get in front of her, not giving her much credence at all to get anywhere other than right to the back of the pack.
And you see here the skill of Rocky Mountain as now the pack has stopped, but they're moving a very quick pack. They're making it difficult for Rock Nasty. Derange doing a nice job up front, forces her down. Rock Nasty is up front and forced out of bounds by Erkin Jerkin. She's got to recycle all the way back, Bam Bam.
What's interesting about this defense is they're not afraid to adjust speed very quickly. They just kind of wait and burst. They're going very slowly. They take the opportunity to block. They go slowly. They reset very well, and that's what we saw again. They took her out of bounds. They just slow it down. She has got to go all the way to the back and try one more time to make that pass.
Meanwhile, Psychobabble standing in the penalty box. She'll be out shortly. Rock Nasty still in that initial pass, Bam Bam. Again, the phenomenal pack work of Rocky Mountain holding her. Here comes Psychobabble. Remember, she was on a scoring pass when she went out, so she finishes the pass, and we get the 5-point grand slam, and 2 minutes ends the jam.
Now, she was able to get that 5 points because, as you mentioned, Kool-Aid, she already had that 1 point when the jammer was in the box. So she was just trying to get through that pack. Once you pass an opponent, you get that point that's just sitting there waiting. That's why even though she came back, the jammer was already out. She's able to get that.
So Britches and Hose was in the penalty box. The medical issue, apparently she had an issue with her eye. She's been cleared by the medics, but she has to go back into the penalty box to finish her term there. Meanwhile, coming to the Dr. Hauschka jammer line is Triple Shot Misto, number 7423 for Rocky Mountain, and Rambo Sambo, no surprise, for Nashville.
Rambo Sambo with the 4 points they have currently, but it's not going to be much to slow down. It looks like we do have a minor forearm being called. Jammer for Rocky Mountain is not going to be lead, so here's an opportunity for Rambo Sambo to make something happen for Nashville.
Rambo Sambo's up front, but with her is Amanda Jamet Inya, one of the best frontal blockers we've seen so far this tournament season. Triple Shot Misto coming into the pack now. Very quick moving pack. There's a couple points right there. She gets past Rambo Sambo. That's the jammer lap point, but knocked down just as he finishes her pass, and that's a major track cut. Good call there by the referee, Judge Knott. Frangelica, however he goes these days. So a power jam now for Nashville. Rambo Sambo, though, has got to get out of this pack. She's still in her initial pass, Bam Bam.
She has got just a little bit of time left in which to do that. She's got now this minute. If she can get through, then she's got to get all the way back around, and we just haven't seen the same amount of speed coming from them. And she's got right there Amanda Jamadenia just holding her back every opportunity outside.
And she's out. Lead jammer for Nashville. Rambo Sambo, she checks her clock, checks her coach, and she's going to continue. See, remember the last time she had a lead jammer status and power jam, quickly called it off. This time they're going to go. We look at the pack formation. 3 Rocky Mountain blockers up front, 4 for Nashville in the back, and we're engaging, Bam Bam.
We have got pivot and jammer in for Rocky Mountain, so this is a great opportunity for Nashville to make something happen if they can. It just took her a little bit longer than she thought to get back to the pack. Makes a move around Amanda Jammer to the inside, then she goes around outside. Looks like somebody picks up the minor cut for that. Right now, just 2 more in front. Rocky Mountain just not going to let up at that front line.
That's Echo and a Salt and Pepper. Rambo Sambo does finally get out, though. Scores 5 points and calls off the jam. Standing, though, in the penalty box is Triple Shot Misto. So this power jam will continue into the next jam, but only for a few seconds.
5 Stride Skate Shop is the preferred shop of Bonnie Thunders, Deranged, Psychobabble, Susie Hot Rod, and Teflon Donna. If you are new to the sport, you need to understand those are some powerful names from a powerful company. 5 Stride Skate Shop, skater favorite.
Folks, I apologize. Clarification, number 308, Britches and Hose, has not been cleared to come back to action yet, so she's still being attended to. because of the medical issue, Nashville is able to substitute for her in the box. So we're back now with Lady Fury jamming for Nashville, and quickly out of the penalty box is Triple Shot Misto. We are 5-on-4. Both jammers in the pack, Bam Bam.
As we can see, Lady Fury, she's trying to get up into the front. She can get around. She does. She's got some strong defense. Is able to hold her back. She is possibly, no, she is getting waved off. The shoveler is saying that she did not make it. It was a minor. That means
Triple Shot Misto got through. Declared lead jammer quickly called it off. I was halfway anticipating Rocky Mountain to not call it off there and engage, but plays the traditional derby strategy there, calls it off. We reset now with number 9er, Uber Alice, coming to the jammer line for the first time tonight for Rocky Mountain.
Rambo Sambo going to be right there next to her, though she's got somebody holding at the back trying to see if she's going to be able to get that intentional 4th minor. That looks like that is Mullen Monroe. So in a moment, she's going to be sent over to the penalty box.
And folks, we attempt to do good work here with roller derby. And to NH LeBlanc, we hope we are repairing your soul. Remember, if you want to send us tweets, you can hashtag #TalkToWoofda, talk to Woofda, the number 2, talk to WFTDA, and interact with us here in Denver.
We have got jammers in action. Number 9, Uber Alice, almost had an opportunity to the inside, but could not get around. The pack shifted momentum, went to a defensive posture to hold back Nashville. Nice bit of a block here. Nobody has an easy advantage as just beautiful recycling inside defensive hitting.
Rambo Sambo is now up front, trying to work her way around. Solid defense by Rocky Mountain. That's free to beat her, and Psychobabble just not letting Rambo Sambo out. She's up though, out, and through for lead jammer.
That is going to be an easy breathing opportunity. She's just got to get back around, though. You can see the pack almost falls apart at that moment. Uber Alice now is going to be able to take advantage of that. Number 1970 seeing that she does not want to, so Slayla just backs up a little bit, does not want to get that penalty. Pack's going to be able to regroup now.
Rambo Sambo come through. Nice move. I thought she had the juke around Psychobabble. Got 3 points there.
I think that was good timing, Porter, to be able to call that off. Is that she saw that she was on that inside line. It was going to take a lot more because she did not get that juke move. She put the hands on the hips as Jammer was going to be able to come back around. So I think that was just great track awareness.
All right, with 15 minutes left, 60 for Rocky Mountain, the women skating in black, 12 points for the women in white from Nashville. We've got Lady Fury coming to the jammer line for Nashville. And I believe that is Deranged, number 27 for Rocky Mountain.
White takes that outside line, black right behind her. Deranged then gets moved back a little bit as she gets a defensive change.
Amanda Jam and Inya, and that is, it's going to be a major track cut, correctly called as Lady Fury was knocked out of bounds by Amanda Jam and Inya. She re-entered, and Power Jam for Rocky Mountain as through for her 4th minor on a minor forearm is Deranged. So both jammers going to the penalty box. Deranged sits.
Lady Fury is going to be able to pop out, and probably, 5-6 seconds later, we're going to be able to get the other one back in. So we're going to be almost back to where we started, though. Pack's trying to get a little bit of advantage for White as they come out, trying to hold black into. Nice move up to the inside.
Lady Fury went through untouched. That was her initial pass through the pack and back out. Like you said, very quickly is Deranged. So we were 5-on-5 very briefly. Both jammers have completed their initial pass. Here comes Lady Fury up, around, and through. Nice point. That's going to be how many points, ref?
He's thinking about it. Calculating. That is 5. That is going to be a grand slam. Interesting. We have Rocky just kind of slowing down back to the jammer, just kind of deciding maybe do a little bit of defense as Pack's going to regroup.
I think so. Remember, we're going to go the full 2 minutes, so still 45 seconds left in this jam. Good move by Deranged. Now, Deranged knocks Lady Fury out. I believe she's attempting to recycle Lady Fury back into the pack.
Oh, it looks like she just decides to take the minor cut. She's outside.
And a big hit by Deranged, a major forearm.
Yeah, you could see that she just led in with it. And you might be able to hear the crowd here rather happy. They agree with the call.
It was a very vicious hit. We may re-examine that, we'll see. But coming through now is Lady Fury for another grand slam. Moving the score now, 60-22, 6 seconds left. I think that's all the scoring we will see for this jam. And that is the jam. Oh, the whistle was just there.
So we want to thank, again, Rydell Skates. We want to thank No Mercy. You need to check them out. It is the new Derby photo book by Jules Axel Adams Doyle. Also want to thank Antic Boot, Reckless Wheels, and Moto Bearings, revolutionizing roller derby.
All right, so Bam Bam, 12 minutes left in this first half. Rambo Sambo jamming unopposed for Nashville. Briefly 4-on-2. However, the penalty box empties, but for the jammer. So Rambo Sambo working by herself right now. Pack very spread out around turn 1 there, Bam Bam.
Looks like the little bit of help that she was going to get falters into turn 2. Now it's going to be just all defense if she can muscle past, but she does not. It looks like she gets a fourth minor forearm trying to get her way through. That's going to pop her into the penalty box.
Deranged is released. She was standing, so we'll likely see almost a full minute here for Rambo Sambo. Deranged comes up by herself, gets out for Lee Jammer, is deranged for Rocky Mountain.
As you can see, the pack was a little bit spread out there. They're now regrouping. You have black at the back, white at the front. Going to make it interesting as Deranged trying to, well, actually successfully just navigating that. Gets maybe a little bit of a competition, but is able to get around, picks up another 5-point Grand Slam.
As the pack remains stuck just between turns 1 and 2. Deranged, nice hit, shrugs off some hits. She is through 4. How many? 4 points. Didn't see the call from Judge Knott if that was a no pass, no point, or a minor. Either way, it's 4 points, but quickly back into it is Deranged, untouched on the inside. That's going to be 5. 5-point Grand Slam.
It looks like Nashville had everything lined up to the outside, just shifted moments too late as Black had control of the front, just let that gate open. She's able to get a pass. Now, again, holding that outside, runs right into the wall.
We're 5-on-5 as Rambo Sambo is out. And that is the jam.
Indeed she does. Deranged saw that she was going to be coming up, just tried at the last moment. Looks like they're also trying to get a timeout call for Rocky Mountain, and we do have that now. Have you been smacked by rollergirls.com yet?
You know, Bam Bam, I don't believe that I have.
Rollergirlskates.com. You can stop by their website, which is rollergirlskates.com. Get some more information.
Now, can you get smacked by a roller girl on www.rollergirlskates.com?
Maybe.
That would be certainly worth checking out, I would imagine.
One would think.
You're watching this on a computer. We've got an official timeout here. Why not go over to www.rollergirlskates.com and check it out?
I don't know.
I mean, you know, leave a window open so you can watch the action.
I'm currently busy, but you're saying one in general?
Hypothetically speaking, yes.
Also, we want to remind you, hashtag #TalkToWFTDA. You're going to be able to get us a little bit of what you're thinking out there.
That's right.
Talk, the number 2, WFTDA.
For you crazy kids out there on Twitter. So let's reset as we've got Wolfie the Wolf Guy dancing, the mascot for Rocky Mountain. 76-21. Quick burst of math makes that a 55-point lead for Rocky Mountain. And we are 5-on-4 with one blocker for Nashville in the penalty box. Coming to the Dr. Hauschka jammer line is Triple Shot Misto for Rocky Mountain and Malin Monroe for Nashville.
We saw Malin Monroe take her intentional fourth a little while ago. This was probably why, as she's getting able to outside, she's just wiggling her way up in. She's got one more.
Now two as Amanda Jammett and Salt and Pepper joins Echo, but Rocky Mountain so quick, it's all 4 of their blockers back up front. Triple Shot Misto now up front with Rock Nasty. Forced out of bounds, comes around. The pack's getting split up. There's 20 feet, and out for Lee Jammer. Number 74-23, Triple Shot Misto, Rocky Mountain.
I'm not sure if that was intentional or it just happened that way, but either way, they were able to take advantage of it very wisely. But unfortunately, Malin Monroe still at the back, not going to be able to get much assistance as Jammer's coming back around for Rocky.
In the pack now, scoring points is Triple Shot. Trying to get around Smith, does that briefly. Nice hit by Rock Nasty, forces her up, but she is major track cut. Triple Shot Misto. Power jam for Nashville.
You could see almost trying to stay in. She just was spinning around and around, but Richie was like, no, unfortunately, you made it. She has to go to the penalty box, so we've got Jammer's going to be able to hopefully get back through for Nashville. As you see defense trying to pull out a little bit. Whistles going crazy up to the pack there.
Malin Monroe coming back into the pack now. This is a scoring pass as we have 2 blockers for Rocky Mountain. You're correct, Bam Bam. 5-on-3 and through for 5 points. A grand slam for Malin Monroe. Rocky Mountain, Nashville with a nice advantage here.
Absolutely, as you see 3 in the box right now.
Huge collision. Everyone goes down, and no calls from the ref. Blah, blah, blah with a nice hold there on Mullen Monroe.
It can be legal sometimes as long as they're not engaging with that elbow or forearm. That's what they're going to be able to pull right now. Just slowed her down time-wise. Going to burn some penalty off. 5 points picked up right there. They're going to go 26 points for Nashville.
Catholic Krollgirl, the coach for Rocky Mountain, quickly out. Looks like we got an official timeout. So Bam Bam, an interesting thing I saw in that last jam, Psychobabble skated out with Mullen Monroe after she'd gotten through for lead jammer status, skated out with her, did not engage her physically, but skated about a foot behind her and talked to her. And I'm sure she was not whispering words of encouragement or, hey, that was a great juke on the last pass through. So Rocky Mountain, known for their attitudes on the track, and I think we're seeing that here as Rocky Mountain continues to skate the way that we've come to know them to skate, which is with a bit of an attitude.
That's what got them to first place last year. That's what they're hoping is going to get them to first place again this year. As we can see, fantastic 50-point lead. Rocky Mountain at 76, Nashville at 26.
So while we've got this official timeout, we'd love to tell you about CHE Sportswear. They've got a new line of derby lifestyle clothing. You can check it out online at CHE Sportswear. Fantastic sports sponsors of the WFTDA.
This official timeout is Rocky is contesting that cutting penalty right now, so that's what that official timeout was all about.
And that always works when you contest a cutting penalty that judge not called. So we're back to it, folks.
At least he listens.
Go listen. Rambo Sambo jamming unopposed for Nashville.
Though we can see Jammer is standing in the box for Rocky as well as a blocker.
So Rambo Sambo needs to quickly complete this pass as triple shot Misto jamming for Rocky Mountain out of the penalty box. Both jammers eligible for lead jammer status right now. Both jammers up front. Lead jammer Rambo Sambo for Rocky Mountain. Nashville.
For Nashville, indeed. At this point, she has got probably over half of the points that have been scored. 12 of them have come from Rambo Sambo alone, so we're going to see if she can put a couple of more up with about 7.5 left to play. But you've got a strong opponent as Triple Shot Misto is out and lots of speed catching up to the pack.
Rocky Mountain very wisely got all 4 of their blockers up front, 3 for Nashville in the back, making it extra hard here for Rambo Sambo. She does engage the pack, sees where Triple Shot Misto is, calls it off. We'll see 2 points for Rocky, no points for Nashville. So the power jam went to Nashville, but the jam advantage went to Rocky Mountain.
Let Vanilla Derby take you to success with our leather Renegade and straight jacket boots. That's Vanilla Derby.
Looks like we've got a timeout. As we glance over the stat page, Bam Bam, the score currently 82. Well, it said 31 just a minute ago.
I'm going to stick with 31.
I'm going to ignore the 22 and continue to assume it's 31 for Nashville. Deranged, skating for Rocky Mountain, has scored 31 points by herself. The high scorer currently for Rocky Mountain. Right behind her, though, as you said, is Frida Beater. So the entire point total by Deranged is equal to that of Nashville.
But the thing to be aware of is Deranged has already gone to the box 3 times, 7 times, and you're out. Though she's been the most effective point scorer, she's also paid that price to get there.
And Deranged with that it was a major, but it was just a major forearm that we saw. Could have almost been called a flying squirrel, engaging with both skates off the ground. So we shall see.
As long as she's got 1 foot on the ground, she cannot have both feet up. That is when it's going to be, you are out.
So we got a timeout while we're correcting the scoreboard here in lovely Broomfield, Colorado. Currently says 82-31. But we'll get some clarification on that.
We will. 5 on 5 Magazine is the official magazine of WFTDA. That is 5on5mag.com.
The score is correct, but we've had the time was incorrect, Bam Bam. So they fixed it here at home. We've got 6 minutes and 50 seconds currently showing on our scoreboard. You're seeing 7:27, and I'm willing to bet you're more correct than what you're watching there at home. So we're back to it, Bam Bam.
Indeed we are. We're trying to see if the Jammers are going to have any leeway, not having any at the back for Rocky. She is just trying to get through and no opportunity. She goes around, outside, then she goes back to the inside. Still, Frida Beater not having any quick. I don't even know what that was, but I was excited to see it.
Rock Nasty was briefly up towards the front of the pack, but knocked out, and out of the pack, not lead jammer, is Frida Beater. Minor track cut. That means Rock Nasty still potentially eligible, but she's got to get out of the pack as here comes Frida Beater on a scoring pass. Cuts right through a 3-wall by Nashville. She's out looking for the call. That's 5-point grand slam for Frida Beater.
In the meantime, Jennifer Smith goes to the penalty box, so it's going to thin it out for Nashville right now. So Frida Beater's going to have a little bit of easier opportunity, though she has gotten 24 of the points so far, so she's pretty effective as it goes.
Rock Nasty not skating right now. Briefly looked like she was briefly considering playing defense. Now comes up front with Rocky Mountain. Muscles her way through, and she's out. Not lead jammer as well for a minor back block. So both jammers out. Another 4 points. There is Frida Beater. We've got 50 seconds left. Opportunity for Nashville to at least score some points, Bam Bam.
Indeed, number 27, she was doing a great job for Rocky Mountain. She able to open up that opportunity, get the jammer through. Now she's trying to switch to defense, get back in front. If she can hold back Rock Nasty, right now she's just trying to cluster up with the rest of Team Black at the front.
That's not what's happening.
Nice move. As Frida Beater forced out of bounds, has to recycle back. Oh, but comes around on the outside, does Frida Beater up and around. How many points is that? Another 5-point grand slam for Rocky Mountain.
That was some great defensive work from Slammy Lou Harris. She was able to hold her off. She goes out of bounds. That is what lets Rocky Jammer get back in, but she then continues to get up, trail her. Seeing right now as Rock Nasty drags a foot, so she gets moved to the inside and does not go out.
Frida Beater up front, comes around, nice juke move. She's got another 5-point grand slam. Rock Nasty did score 4 points, Bam Bam, on that pass. Remember, once you get a point, it's yours, but she was constantly recycled back, never able to get out of the pack for a second scoring pass. So you've got to give Rock Nasty and Nashville a lot of credit right there. They're skating very hard, but that has to be 4 of the hardest points I've ever seen gain in roller derby.
Well, and I think that's absolutely a good point, because you have to realize even if she gets the point, she gets knocked back, she still has that, again, potential to foul. So she's got to make sure that she's skating legally, she's playing smart, and struggling all the more. She's already gotten that point. She gets pushed behind. She has to pass legally and again the next to continue to put more points on as we go 101-35.
And we've got jamming for the first time tonight, number 88, she who cannot be named for Rocky Mountain.
Rambo Sambo in there trying to move, gets knocked to the inside, gets spun around. So able to go back around. Jammer went down for Rocky Mountain very quickly, back up.
She who comes on the inside but knocked out of bounds has recycled back. Huge rugby scrum. We are 5-on-5 right now, Bam Bam. That's why you're seeing such heavy blocking going on.
And we've seen both of these teams do this exact clustering where they're just not going to let anybody through. There's no benefit to it other than you're holding somebody back, but you're not helping your own jammers. We see Rambo Sambo once again fighting the good fight to get out in front, and she is your lead jammer.
She is your lead jammer. Psychobabble gets up front. Good pack play by Rocky Mountain. You see their quick closing speed. Rambo Sambo is your lead jammer. Finally completes her first pass through the pack. That was a full lap after lead jammer status was given before she was finally able to clear the pack.
Indeed, Amanda Jamadini almost had a piece of her, was able to turn around, but nice bit of a hop right there as lead jammer's now getting back into scoring potential, but she's got to look out. Rocky Mountain right behind her.
Calls it off. We'll see if she got some points there. Yes, 2 points. So we've got some scoreboard issues here, Bam Bam, as the correct clock, the official clock reads 2:49. We are pulling our clock that you're seeing on your lovely HD feed on WFTDA.com. Shows 3 minutes, 22 seconds. That is the NSO clock, and it is a little bit slow. Currently 2 minutes and 37 seconds, so we're about 30 seconds up. As we're seeing 30 seconds of extra time, Bam.
Oh, as we just saw on our screen right there, we saw that nice little bit of a hop from Rambo Sambo. It's just a reminder why they're all here at the WFTDA championship level.
And on the Dr. Hauschka line is deranged for Rocky Mountain. And that is Lady Fury for Nashville.
We have seen her out there earlier. She has got 9 points, but she went to the box twice so far. So again, got to play smart. Rocky Mountain jammer through. She is being waved off, though. It looks like a minor forearm. Remember, it could be hand or forearm contact. She is not lead. Going to be an opportunity now for Nashville. Lady Fury is getting caught up.
Again, solid pack play. Blah, blah, blah up front. Oh, out, and lead jammer with a nice hop is Lady Fury. She quickly calls it off as about 20 feet behind the pack was deranged. Good move there by Nashville.
Very, very, very smart play. As our game continues to go on, we want to say take your league to the next level with Skate Court Roller Derby Flat Tracks.
All right, 1 minute, 30 seconds left in this first half. As I'm sure you all know, when the game clock ends, we'll finish the jam that we're on. Coming back to the jammer line is Rambo Sambo for Nashville. And for the first time tonight, Bam Bam, that is Queen Elizabeth. Rocky Mountain rolling out some jammers. They're not usually featuring the jammer star on their helmet.
Now you have to ask that question, are they doing that because they have such a substantial lead they're assuming we might need to get this later on? Or just, little fresh legs jamming going on as she makes a move to the inside, though jammer kicking opportunity outside. Nashville gets caught up in that wall of black. Looks like pretty much the whole team was waiting for a nice bit of a 4-wall there.
And we are 5-on-5, full rugby scrum. They're coming as the pack moves into turn 4. And we have a power jam. Queen Elizabeth going to the penalty box for a major track cut, Bam Bam.
She did. She got sent out right away. So we're going to see if Nashville can do anything with this as she's got a bit of a move. Oh, runs right into the front side. Does not draw any penalty because she had that front shoulder. She's doing it again. Rambo Sambo just continuing to lean.
That is Psychobabble just giving Rambo Sambo the business. And blah, 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 skating well away from the pack. I think she's trying to catch back up to the pack. And out for lead jammer finally is Rambo Sambo for Nashville.
Bench is telling her just go at this point. There's no reason not to. We've got 37 points. Get as many as you can before we can go. Trying to get the signal to get the pack to slow down. Going to get an opportunity for Rambo Sambo to come back up and through. Trying to find that line as she can move to the inside. Nice bit of defense from Slayla there. Opens it up, but not fast enough. Black's able to get around the outside and get right back in front.
There was briefly no pack. The pack quickly reformed. Recycled out is Rambo.
Rocky Mountain getting a little home crowd encouragement here from their antics.
Psychobabble playing to the crowd. We've seen that before as well. Queen Elizabeth out of the pack.
You saw Rambo Sambo take a really hard hit there from number 86 of Salt and Pepper. Looks like she's going to be able to get up, though no penalty assessed currently.
And with the game clock at 0, Rambo Sambo calls it off. That is the half. So Psychobabble continuing to talk as the jam ends with Union Jack You Up. We'll have to see if the frustration level bubbles over at all in the second half with a significant lead. Rocky Mountain over Nashville, the women in black over the women in white. I'll be curious to see if Nashville can keep their heads in the game or if they will begin to play the game that Rocky Mountain plays, which is very much a head game.
Well, and as you can see, penalties were a big factor at Nashville at first, though Rocky Mountain started to add that up. And we've seen this big push at the beginning, though Nashville now, it's taken them the most of the half, is starting to creep back. So I think the question is going to be, can Rocky Mountain keep their heads about them and stay out of the penalty box to continue this big 70-point advantage they've got?
We'll find out in the second half. You're watching the action right here on WFTDA.com. And now a word from our sponsors.
So as we come back to this game, we have been talking a little bit here while we had a moment or two, just saying that, of course, penalties have been a factor, but I think that's going to be the question. Nobody's really had that many penalties.
That's correct. Not that I had anticipated Rocky Mountain sending several players to the penalty box repeatedly and possibly getting ejected. We've only got Deranged as the penalty box leader with 3 trips to the box so far, and that's it for Rocky Mountain. A couple other players have 2, only one with 3, no one with 4 or more. And actually Slayla for Nashville Music City All-Stars also with 3 trips to the box, but that's it. So we've seen a fairly light penalty box trip thus far.
And if we look at the stats here, you can see that actually most of the big point scorers haven't been drawing those penalties. So I think just, again, smart play has been happening from the jammers out there from both sides of these two teams.
We have seen multiple power jams. Nashville not really able to capitalize on them as much as they would like to. They've had 2 power jams where they scored less than 5 points in that power jam. So I think a major difference here to me as we come into the second half, will Nashville be able to come back into this game? Will they be able to play strong, play smart, and maybe you don't even necessarily worry about about winning this game, but really can you just have a strong second half and walk out of here with your head held high?
We'd also like to hear what you think at home. You can hashtag #TalkToWFTDA. That is talk, the number 2, WFTDA. Tweet us, let us know what you're thinking.
Absolutely. So we're going to get started. Coming back to the Dr. Hauschka jammer line for Rocky Mountain is number 27, Deranged.
And we've got Lady Fury for Nashville. We're going to make sure our officials, everything, it's all about the timing here.
The NSOs furiously waving down Sugar Daddy, so looks like we might be slightly delayed off the start here. Let's peruse the pack, Bam Bam. We've got 4 Rocky Mountain blockers right now on the track, 2 Nashville blockers. However, one of the girls in the penalty box is standing.
That is your pivot. That is 4-leaf roller. She had the blocker there, Mullen Monroe. This is going to be her second trip to the box. Remember, she saw a intentional fourth minor to go earlier so that she can come back into jam. Strategy behind that, as always, is you do not want to be out there with those 3 minors just waiting for that fourth one to spring on you, kick you out when you're a jammer. So that's a great, smart strategy everybody employs. We'd also like to thank some of our event partners. That is Protect Dent Mouthguards, TICSkateGear.com, Derbalife, Derby Skins, Union Vacations, and Derbyology.
You know, on Union Vacations, Bam Bam, they are providing the MVP of this tournament for an all-expenses-paid trip to Mexico. They are also providing the grand champion for the WFTDA Bracket Bonanza, a trip to next year's championships, wherever that might be, airfare, hotel, and tickets into the event. So big thanks to Union Vacations for really hooking up roller derby and its fans. You know, Bam Bam, not only do we have folks here all across the country, Ninja Kiza is watching roller derby live on DerbyAccess.com in high def in
Reykjavik.
Yes.
Reykjavik, Iceland.
That's where they have those summits.
And no trees.
It's because it's very cold. No trees, but there is roller derby. She's watching the HQ feed. What time is it right now in Iceland? It's got to be early in the morning.
It's derby time.
It's derby time. It's always derby
It's
time.
always derby time. DerbyAccess.com. Remember, you can upgrade to the high definition feed. Just click the little link.
Just $30 for the entire week, and you're going to see 12 of the most amazing games. I mean, honestly, Bam Bam, I think we all knew coming into this game, this was the one that everyone had circled as Rocky Mountain. On the BracketMaker.com brackets that we had with our Bracket Bonanza, as we
that
have
guy is agreeing with you right there. Wolfie is just like, yeah, you know, I kind of did.
over 99% of the entries of the 600-plus brackets we had picked Rocky Mountain to beat Nashville. Far and away the most lopsided game that the folks out there predicted. But only a 60-point game. I was honestly anticipating we'd be well past 150 points coming into this halftime. So if this is only a 60-point game, just imagine what else you're going to see all weekend on that HQ feed. We've already seen an amazing, amazing game with Charm City versus Minnesota. We've also got Kansas City will be playing Rose, Naptown will be playing Philly, and then all the winners today will go up against the number 1 seeds tomorrow, Texas, Gotham, Ole, and Windy City. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
And this is your opportunity. There are going to be some teams that are not going past today. Remember, it's that single elimination style. So you've got one team already going home. That was Charm. Right now, if things continue as they have, that will be Nashville. But as you had mentioned, just down by 60 points. Thing to be aware of is that they have been a strong play coming back for that. So the official timeout that we had right there was actually from the NSOs. They were fixing the scoreboard issue. So that is what they decided to do.
And the jam is off. We've got 20 skaters. It's mayhem. Wait, I'm sorry. They're warming up.
I just like the idea that there were like 3 or 4 jammers out there. Now that is some exciting roller derby.
We've changed the rules. It's the new rule set. Everyone got their feedback in, and everyone skates. It's all skate here in Broomfield.
We tried the no minors variant. We're trying the all players variant.
So now let's talk a little bit about tomorrow. We will see at 9:30 in the AM.
That is never too early for roller derby.
That will be Minnesota going up against Texas. After that, it should be 10:10 a.m. 9:30, Texas will be playing against Minnesota. After that, the number 1 seed.
I'm not allowed to describe what was happening on our screen right there. Wolfie was getting busy. Crowd was actually happy about it.
So again, tomorrow at 11:15 a.m. Mountain, right here on WFTDA.com, you're going to see Gotham. The Gotham Girls Roller Derby All-Stars will be playing against the winner of this game right now. Let's assume for just a minute that Rocky Mountain holds on to this 60-point lead. Rocky versus Gotham. That's going to be a fun game.
I think that's going to be one of those games that people are going to want to own copies of. I mean, it's one of those stories that you've got champion last year from a completely different region than, a dominant force from the East Coast since pretty much the inception of roller derby Gotham has been a name that has come to the fore. So Gotham, Rocky is one you're going to tell your grandkids about.
Absolutely. Gotham, very interesting. If we can go way back to 2006 when they played in the first Dust Devil, did well, didn't qualify for the final round of 4. Since then, though, they have either won the championship or been eliminated by the team that went on to win the championship. They were beat by Kansas City in 2007. They won it all in 2008. They ran the table in 2008, went undefeated. In 2009, defeated by Ole. In 2010, they were defeated by Rocky Mountain. They've had incredible seasons so far. Gotham right now sits undefeated. They have not lost in 2011. We'll see if that streak continues tomorrow when they play, again, assuming Rocky Mountain.
Indeed, but the game after that, you're going to have a very similar story from Windy City. Windy City has been undefeated in their region for quite some time. They have come in
forever, actually.
Pretty much. So they have come in as number 1 all of the years. They are going to go against the winner of Kansas and Rose City, and that is going to be Mountain Time 1 o'clock. So I think you're going to have a lot of good competition from those games. Texas, Minnesota, that is going to be a good game. Gotham and potentially Rocky or Nashville, probably a good game.
Let's talk a little bit about this Kansas City Rose game. Again, this is the game you're going to see tonight after this game. That is 5:30 Mountain Time. So Rose City making their first trip to the championships. They've come close. They've come very close the last few years, but finally coming in as the number 3 seed today. Going up against Kansas City, again, who won it all in 2007, coming in after having lost 39 points to Texas in the South Central region. Both of these teams very strong, Bam Bam. I think we're going to see an amazing game here at 5:30 Mountain. And then, of course, we're going to close tonight at 7:15, Philly versus Naptown.
East Region Seed 2 against North Central Region Seed 3, Naptown.
So Philly has, again, been there since the very beginning. Naptown coming in also for the first time to the championship tournament. They, along with Rose, the 2 first-timers in 2011. Naptown, sort of the big surprise. I don't think we all had sort of circled on our brackets it was going to be Windy, Minnesota, and Detroit. Mm-hmm. But Naptown said, no, we've got something to say. And they're coming in here. I think that's going to be a very tight game.
Mm-hmm. And it was very decided, as you were able to watch North Central, that Naptown just had this effect where they thought, we can do this and we're going to do this, and they just kept it going, and that is why they were here. So this is indeed their first appearance. We were talking a little bit earlier in the tournament, and you could just see how you have these seasoned professionals come in, and it's all about the attitude, and we're here to win, and this is our house. And you had, Nashville, and you have Naptown come in, and they just have these big eyes, and they're just looking at this, and they're just like, we're here, we made it. And I often wonder, is that a factor of just the newness, or just you have the experience of all of these teams? How much does that come into effect when you have these new ones who are just so happy to be here?
And we still have a wolf, and he is still dancing. Folks, I hope you're seeing that wolf in the HQ feed, because believe me, you don't want to see that on the SD. You've got to see every fiber of his costume. Let's go ahead and preview tomorrow morning's game. Again, that's Texas against Minnesota. Minnesota with one of the better games I have ever seen when they defeated Charm City in the game you saw just prior to this one. Minnesota built a substantial lead. Charm came back, had the lead. Minnesota was able to retake it, win by 20 some odd
Comfortable
points.
margin.
Comfortable margin. So how confident does Minnesota feel going up against Texas tomorrow? Texas has had a very up and down year. They've had many losses, many wins. They've added, though, Polygon and Barbara Ambrush from Maine, who are very, very good skaters. So we were seeing sort of a retooled Texas. How do you feel that Minnesota will come into the bout tomorrow?
Well, I think that Minnesota, you have to consider that they came in off a great run from North Central. They were really probably determined to be, by everyone's opinion, that 3rd seed. So they came in strong, showing the entire weekend, put a pretty big run on up against Windy City, put them a little bit at worry, which is not something that happens very often.
Well, remember, as you said, Windy City, since the WFTDA has gone to the 4-region format, Windy City has not lost a game to any of the teams in the region. Minnesota gave them the closest run they've had
ever.
Right there in Indianapolis.
Indeed. So I think that Minnesota has got some great confidence. They're coming off a strong win from Charm. Now, they may have been rattled a little bit, as Charm did for a short time take the lead, run away with it for about 5 minutes, and then Minnesota then just came back strong, definitely decided to play their game. So going up against Texas, who is one of the most storied, if not the most storied team in all of roller derby.
They started the sport
way back in
1943, I think. Let's go ahead and thank some more of our event partners. We've got Derbyology, Fast Girl Skates, the Flat Track Revolution, Iron Doll Clothing, the Bruised Boutique, Derbyville, and of course Sin City Skates.
But we would be remiss if we did not thank Dr. Hauschka. They are the WFTDA's official bruise healer. You can lose the bruise with Dr. Hauschka's Ouch Aid.
And you know, I remember when I first heard about Dr. Hauschka. I'm in the medical profession by trade because roller derby does not pay me nearly enough, or indeed at all.
You get paid?
No, and I thought, Dr. Hauschka, really? I mean, this is a real product? And then I saw it up close and personal on my lovely bride when she put some on a bruise she had on her arm, and it went away, Bam Bam. It heals the bruise. It's an amazing product, and it actually works.
I used to work retail many years ago. I would say at this point at least 10, if not 12. And a place that I worked had Dr. Hauschka products, and they were by far some of the best. Great natural ingredients, great marketing, and they just said, we've got the simplest thing. Here it is. It'll work. And it does, and it's amazing. And I myself have actually used the Ouch Aid, and it works.
And, of course, they are a huge sponsor of the WFTDA, the Women's Flat Track Derby Association, and all its endeavors. So huge thanks to Dr. Hauschka. And thanks to the girls, they've finished warming up. The women coming back now to the Dr. Hauschka Jammer line. Again, it is deranged for Rocky Mountain.
We've also got...
That is Lady Fury.
Just having a little bit of a conversation with each other. I think we should go here after the bout. Well, I think we should go here after the bout. So we're going to get them back to it.
Big shout out to the Juice, announcer for Rocky Mountain, who bakes a better window than he does a door. So 101-41, 30 minutes left in this second half.
Still 30 minutes left to play.
Okay, sounds like we've got a fresh computer power on the scoreboard here.
Still an NSO out talking to Sugar Daddy.
Looks like there was a bit of a computer problem with the scoreboard. So the idea was that they were just going to get everything set. Scoreboard had an issue. They've got it up. Now they're just verifying that it will all run. The program is being downloaded. IntelliGent's just saying, yes, it's good. She's running through it. I think we'll be underway in a few moments.
And let's go ahead and thank CHE Sportswear. You can find them on the web at www.chesportswear.com. They've got a new line of derby lifestyle clothing. Check them out online at checlothing.com.
As we are sitting, scores are not up on your screen currently. We'll get that back up for you in a moment. But as I can see right here, Rocky Mountain is at 101, Nashville's 41. As we get back to it, Kool-Aid.
All right, Deranged is up front. Deranged is out. Lee Jammer deranged for Rocky Mountain.
Would not be the first time she does that. She gets about 10 feet out, and she is already well past the pack. Nashville, not the same kind of luck. Jammer gets knocked out, but she's kind of get back in.
Lady Fury there hit off her own skater. Jumping the apex is Deranged. That's all 5 points. Grand slam for Deranged.
Bob Labala with some great blocking. She's continuing to hold back. Lady Fury.
That is correct. Lady Fury still in the back of the pack. Here comes Deranged on another scoring pass. That's the Jammer lap point.
Nice bit of a lean-to right there. Not going to let her... That she is able to actually push Slayla out. She opens it up. She has to slow it up, thinking she might be at 20 feet. She lets her go. Another 5 points for Rocky.
I think there we saw concern for the penalty boxes. Slayla with 3 trips to the box does not want to foul out. She lets Deranged go. Deranged now quickly back. The pack only moved about 30 feet. And Deranged just says, I'm done. Calling off the jam.
How many more do I need to get? I've made my point.
She did pick up a minor back block just before she called it off. I'm curious to see how many minors she has. She may have been mindful of that and not wanting to get sent to the penalty box as the jammer.
Indeed, as we've seen that happen from her particularly a few times so far. As we go to the line, Erkin Jerkin, number 00 in the black, and Rambo Sambo in the white and blue.
Nashville takes a knee. Again, remember, no pack to start off the jam. Means the jammers are quickly released. But I think we probably all know that by now. Rambo Sambo working her way up front. Erkin Jerkin in the back. Both jammers taking some solid hits here, Bam Bam.
As you can see on your screen at home, Rambo Sambo tries to make a move to the outside, just gets pushed back in. Got the jammer trying to pry it up, moves to the inside if she can open up a hole. Rambo Sambo, though, she can't decide if she wants to play offense or defense at this point. Rocky Mountain coming up very close behind.
Rambo Sambo takes a move around Frida Beater. Frida Beater gets back in front. She is lead jammers Rambo Sambo. And that was a major out-of-play call. As out of the pack herself, though, is Erkin Jerkin. So both jammers clear. 112-41 is the score now. Rocky Mountain over Nashville with 27.5 minutes left in this second half.
Probably not a lot of time left in the jam. Rambo Sambo, she's going to be able to get up. She decides to call it, seeing if she can get a few points before her opponent does. She does pick up 2 on that pass.
That was 1 point for the blocker she passed, 1 point for the blocker in the penalty box.
So that is going to bring us up Rocky Mountain at 112, Nashville at 43.
And if you want to score points with your sweetie, get her an Outside the Line t-shirt at the Splendlin booth, or very likely on their website, Splendlin Media, a new kind of t-shirt.
Also want to thank Spenlin for providing and putting together the WFTDA app. If you have an iPhone or an iPad, I happen to have both, and they work fantastically. If you want a quick reference, Spenlin put together, check it out at the iTunes App Store, WFTDA rules.
All right, we've got Rock Nasty versus Triple Shot Misto. Both jammers still on an initial pass. Rock Nasty takes a huge hit by Amanda Jamadinha. Quickly back in, though. Solid defense by both teams. Triple Shot Mistos now is up front. There's a pivot cap on the ground.
Smart bit of a grab as, Psycho Babble, she was going out. She knocked it off. She gets it back up. She's allowed to do that as long as she doesn't go into the box. She cannot come back out.
And Rock Nasty is out for lead jammer. Right behind her is Triple Shot Misto, and that on the ground is Slayla, I do believe, hurt but pulling herself away from the pack, so the jam will continue.
Again, very smart. If she was to stay on the track, they'd have to call it. She'd have to sit out for 3. She is feeling a little bit down. Got a ref over there making sure she's okay. EMT's on their way.
And looks like we're going to have an official timeout here. Remember, because she, as you said, Bam Bam, she pulled herself out, so she will be eligible to come back in whenever. Folks, we do apologize for the technical difficulties. The NSO scoreboard is down. Their laptop is having issues. That is the scoreboard from which we are pulling our scoreboard that you're seeing on the feed. So right now, no scoreboard. As soon as the NSO's computers get fixed, we'll have that back up for you. Right now, 113 to 43 with just under 26 minutes left in the second half.
And as we can see, those points have really started to stack up for Rocky Mountain. Deranged and Free to Beat are very close, though Deranged already at 4 penalty trips, so she's got 3 left, and then she's going to be gone. So we'll see if she's been able to maintain into the rest of this game. 25 and a half left.
And jamming for the first time tonight for Nashville is number 318, 4-Leaf Roller. Coming back is number 202, Free to Beater for Rocky Mountain.
4-Leaf Roller trying to see if she's got any opportunity, and there is just no room at the end. Free to Beater just decides to knock down the front door if she can. Gets pushed at the back. Nice bit of move from B3. Actually, Pivot is at the back right now trying to hold her up, giving a little bit of an opportunity for Nashville. If she does, they pushed her to 20 feet. She gets the free pass. Nashville has lead jammer.
Meanwhile, Free to Beater still in the back of the pack. Good defense by Nashville. They got all 4 of their skaters out there blocking. Free to Beater coming around. Here comes 4-Leaf Roller on a scoring pass, Bam Bam.
No one's going to overlook her as she's going to be back up in it. Rocky Mountain is through, of course, being waved off because lead jam was established. Remember, for anybody who's not quite sure, lead jammer, the benefit is that 2 minutes is a jam period. If you're lead, you can call it off before that time. That is why you want to get out there legally and first to become lead jammer.
So very quick moving pass here. 4-Leaf Roller is on a scoring pass and calls it off. We'll see if she picked up 2 points there. Did Nashville. Nice jam there by 4-Leaf Roller. A little quick 2-point jam, making this 113 to 45 with under 25 minutes left. We want to thank Blood and Thunder magazine, issue number 18, and World Cup tickets are available on their website. And of course, if you're going to go onto the web, you should go onto Wicked Skatewear. They're here and in the meeting, and of course they're online. You can go online and say hi to B-Train and Strychnine, Bam Bam.
You can indeed, but if you want to say hi to us, I want to remind you, it's hashtag #TalkToWFTDA. Talk, the number 2, WFTDA. Haven't heard a lot from you, so tell us what you're thinking out there. What do you think about this game going on so far?
Now, we've got looks like an official timeout. I will bet you $1 million, Bam Bam, when I believe it was Deranged came back out of the penalty box in that last jam. She skated onto the track, saw the positioning of the pack, skated back out of bounds, and then skated clockwise to get behind the pack. So we're seeing if this is going to be called as an illegal re-entry. Remember, you do have to re-enter when you're coming from the penalty box behind the pack. But she came onto the track, essentially behind the pack, but then skated back out of bounds.
So rather than play catch-up, she decides to just get a better position as the pack comes back around to her.
Correct, but she did re-enter the inbounds area on the track and then exited it. So we may see a different call here.
Indeed, you're not allowed to take yourself out of play. Once she is on the track, she's considered to be back in play. To take herself off actively, she is not allowed to do.
Now, Bam Bam, sometimes, you go online, you have difficulty with your online.
Often.
It's horrible. However, if you go to Derby Supply at derbysupply.com, they will give you the best customer service in the business, period.
Well, how about that?
How about that, indeed?
So as you can see on your screen, you got the referees right there. Of course, we have our ref liaison liaison going to be helping us out. She's in the middle of there trying to get some more information. Looks like our head ref is going to be able to, remember, they have to tell the penalty boxes, they have to check with the coaches to get all the information correct and current before we can get any real good, solid information to you. We want to make sure that we know what we're talking about here. So we want to thank them for all the work that they do and clarifications that they bring to us.
And, of course, we want to thank Elemental Technologies, the world's most powerful video processing solutions.
So as we've got waiting at the Dr. Hauschka start line, Psycho Babble, number 21.
And that is Rambo Sambo yet again for Nashville. Black 27 there. DeRange got a skating out-of-bounds minor for exactly what described, but through for lead jammer, Bam Bam.
That was Psycho Babble, and that was amazing. I mean, there's a stutter step, and there's a stepping that just stutters, and she's able to hold that line as she comes back into play. She is lead, trying to see where Rocky Mountain can hold back jammer for Nashville. Not able to do it much longer. She is able to just power her way through. She has gotten stronger and stronger as this game has gone on. She just hasn't gotten the assistance. She's making the holes herself.
So Psycho Babble finishes the scoring pass, sees where Rambo Sambo is, and calls it off. 4 more points for Rocky Mountain brings us now to 117-45 with under 24 minutes left in the second half. Again, folks, we're still working on that NSO scoreboard.
So we appreciate you sticking with us. Again, if you want, you can find us in a little bit higher video resolution. You can get the high quality. You can upgrade just a few more dollars for the entire weekend to watch all of the 2011 WFTDA Championship Tournament, brought to you by the Denver Roller Dolls.
All right, we've got Triple Shot Misto jamming against Rock Nasty.
Rock Nasty tries to make that inside move. She gets up, but unfortunately Black gets all the way in front of her. All 4 engage outside.
Echo far out of bounds. That's a major out of play. Allows Rock Nasty through for lead jammer.
And she earned every inch of it. Jammer coming around for Rocky Mountain now, seeing if she's going to be able to get a move. Nice bit of an assistance at the front. Opens it up. She's able to go through now.
So Triple Shot out as well. About 60 feet separate the jammers. Quick moving pack. Here comes Rock Nasty in. Cuts around the range. That'll be 2 points. Looks to finish. Oh, huge hit by Amanda Jamadinha, as the jam is called it off by Rock Nasty, as Triple Shot Misto is quickly closing on that pack.
And as you saw on your screen right there, nice to see that. Amanda Jamadinha has a huge hit on Rock Nasty, gets up, just has a little bit of a jab, and they smile at each other. It wasn't that kind of like, I got you. It was like, everything okay? Everything's great. They just love to be here, and you see that. I mean, it's like she is going to hit her as hard as she can, and they're still going to be like, you all right? Okay, good, because I'm going to hit you again.
I'm sure Amanda Jamadinha was smiling at her and saying, good game. All right, 117 for Rocky Mountain, the women skating in black, 48 for Nashville, the women skating in white. 22 minutes left in this second half. On the jammer line is Erkin Jerkin for Rocky Mountain.
We still have 1 in the box for Rocky Mountain.
That is 4-leaf roller coming back to the jammer line, only her second time wearing the star for Nashville. And out for lead jammer, Erkin Jerkin, Rocky Mountain.
She does indeed. Unfortunately, we have got Nashville went down at the back. She's able to get back up on her feet, but she has got a lot of work to do to see if she can even get up into the pack, let alone through it. 4-leaf roller doing her best. Jammer coming around for Rocky Mountain in the meantime, has her hands up. Nice bit of a behind the back whip from number 31. 21, I believe. Psycho Babble.
So all 5 points there are scored. 4-leaf roller still in the pack on her first pass, Bam Bam. Solid 4-wall. Amanda Jamadinha quickly skates back to bridge. Maintains the pack, thus allowing Echo and Psycho Babble to continue to hit 4-leaf roller.
Had a power balance in the penalty box. Pivot goes in for Nashville. Clear for Rocky.
And we just had a star pass, Bam Bam. As Psycho Babble took the star pass, she's out. Lose lead jammer status, but you don't lose the points scored as a illegal procedure.
Not quite sure how she picked that up, but indeed she did.
It appeared that the legal procedure is being called on Psycho Babble. She has the star pass, star helm, star panty cover, but she is not considered the jammer. So Rocky Mountain without a jammer right now. We'll see if Four-Leaf Roller can take advantage of this.
If she has the helmet cover in her hand, but it's not on her helmet, she is still considered that position.
Major track cut on Four-Leaf Roller will send the Nashville Jammer to the penalty box.
So this is where it is going to be interesting because the Jammer isn't officially, as we understand it, well, it looks like she is standing and being sent out.
And that ends the jam. And I dare say we'll talk about this one.
I'm curious to know if we might get an official timeout because, again, you have to have the helmet cover on. If you get called for the penalty before you are called that, you are sent out as your position, so they have no Jammer. So is the Jammer picked up and sent back in? Who can say?
Again, I did not see the view that the referees had. It looked like the star pass was legal. It was in the engagement zone. It was to the pivot. I didn't see what would have been illegal with it. There must have been some other element that you and I were unable to see.
Absolutely. So we have an official timeout being called just to clarify why that is.
So in the meantime, let's thank Roller Girl Skates.
Thank you, Roller Girl Skates.
If you're here in the crowd, you could look for Trigger and sign up to get a free set of wheels. But since you're probably watching this at home, you should just go to rollergirlskates.com and love their products. And, of course, as long as we're talking products, we should thank Adam Wheels, the official wheel of the WFTDA.
I want to remind you we have 2 more games today. So we've got 4 games, 6 games, and then only 2 on Sunday. So we have a game coming up. It's at 5:30 Mountain Time. That is Kansas City Roller Warriors. They are the number 2 seed in the South Central region. Rose City Rollers are the 3 seed from the West. And that's the way that this matchup has gone. 2-3, 2-3, 2-3, and 2-3. They're going to be matching us up tomorrow. We're going to have, again, those first seeds going against Texas and Minnesota. Victor over Charm City. It looks like the way that it's playing right now, Rocky might continue to take it and Gotham tomorrow at 11.
Only during a Rocky Mountain bout. Psychobabble was the pivot in the last jam. There was an illegal star pass. Apparently she grabbed the helmet cover, was not handed it to her, so she grabbed it. So that was an illegal star pass, sent to the penalty box for a major legal procedure. When Four-Leaf Roller went to the penalty box, she was released, but she was not the Jammer.
Correct.
Even though she had the Jammer helmet
She was
cover,
not
she
the
was
Jammer,
not the
legally.
Jammer. So she was released early. Because she was released by the penalty box timekeepers, she will not be assessed an extra minute, but she does have to serve the remainder of her time.
Correct. As per the rules, that is what it should state, is that if there was an official, the NSO or referee, who says do this, and that's not what the law says, you have to then come back. She still has that time to serve, and indeed she is going to do that.
That is correct. So Rocky Mountain is able to field a Jammer in this jam. Really heads-up play here by the referees. You have to give them a lot of credit. That was a fairly complicated situation, and they stayed right on top of it. I know it's probably confusing that you see Psychobabble sitting in the penalty box with the jammer cover on top of her pivot cover, and is she the Jammer, is she the pivot? But remember, it was an illegal star pass, so she is not the Jammer, even though she does have the Jammer cap.
Well, and I think that that's what you had talked about, is that from our perspective, it looked exactly like it had been legal because there was a pass that had taken place. She put it on her head. It was inside the engagement zone. Everything you need to meet the criteria.
The stars were out. Everything was correct.
They aligned. But the issue was that she cannot take it herself. She needs to be handed it.
So here is the situation. Derange comes now to the Dr. Hauschka Jammer line, wearing the Jammer star. There's 19 minutes, 31 seconds. The score is 127-48. The NSO scoreboard is still down, but we're working on it. The penalty box is full right now, Bam Bam. We have 2 Rocky Mountain blockers. Remember, Psychobabble still serving her the rest of her time, as we talked about. Full of Nashville blockers is the Nashville side, plus the Nashville Jammer, Four-Leaf Roller. So Power Jam now for Deranged with a micro pack 2-on-2 blocker-wise.
Well, and especially because you had the jam called very quickly. Jammer went in to the penalty box. They unfortunately sent Psychobabble out. They called it, so I would think 40 to 50 seconds still potential time. Fans, they're just excited to be here. Hi, Mom. That's what they're thinking. Look what I'm doing with my life. Occupy the pivot line. Indeed, we're going to get some tents out here. It's going to be a little tent city on the Dr. Hauschka Jam line.
One of my favorite tweets that I've seen on the hashtag Talk2, the number 2 WFTDA on Twitter, was from someone who said it should not be called the Dr. Hauschka Jammer line. It should be called the Dr. Hauschka All of the Skaters line, because that's where all of the skaters line up. And you can't really argue with that.
You know, fresh attitude for fresh faces.
And fresh pivot lines because it's oh so rarely used. Won't someone please think of the pivot line? It's so lonely.
In this game, let's hope. It looks like Deranged is going to say, you know, I could do that, I think. She's got the Jammer Star on. She is just waiting as they're getting back to the action.
So huge task here for Union Jack You Up and Rock Nasty, the only two blockers, and they're going to have to stop Deranged. Quickly sprinting off the line. It's a nice move by Nashville.
As you saw right there, Rocky Mountain, they held it. They put their knee down. There was no pack at the start. It gets her off the line very quickly. But as you can see, great speed from Nashville right now.
Now, Bob Blah Blah is in the back. She's actually picking up out-of-play minors because she's not catching up to the pack. Quickly, though, out no is Deranged now. Lead jammer for Rocky Mountain.
She is. A little bit of help is going to come in. Lady Fury is saying, I'm back here. Look, I'm behind you, so do not let them trap me. You've got to slow it down. And that was very smart because they knew if she was outside of 20 feet, pack is the majority of skaters being represented by both teams. That's what you saw right there. Smart play, Lady Fury saying, come back and get me. Not going to like an easy pass, though it looks like she's able to get around herself for another 5 points.
Well, there was no pack called there by the referees as we had 3 up front, 3 in the back. No penalties were assessed for failure to reform as they did quickly get back, but that did allow Deranged to get through. She's back now on another scoring pass, absorbs a hit, stays in bounds. She's around for another 5-point grand slam.
That is going to leave Nashville at 48. Rocky's going to bump them up to about 137. Get some verification on that in a minute.
4-leaf roller back on the track for Nashville. We're 5-on-5, huge tumbles there, and the jam is called off. 1 more point for Rocky Mountain, scored on that last pass by Deranged, makes the score now 138-48.
Alternate coach going out for Nashville. Just quick clarification.
So we're going to be 5-on-5 here, Bam Bam, with 18 minutes as the clock continues to tick down in this second half. Uber Alice coming to the jammer line for the first time tonight for Rocky Mountain.
And as you can see on your screens, like you had mentioned, penalty box is completely empty. Everybody is out there. Jammers on the line, no pack. They get going.
Rambo Sambo jamming for Nashville comes up. She's in the front of the pack. We'll see. Is there going to be a 20-foot call? She stays in bounds. She works her way up front. Good defense by Rocky Mountain. She's out. Lead jammer. Rambo Sambo for Nashville.
Been a strong part of Nashville. Already got 18 points. We'll see if she can put a few more up on the board, though. Rocky Mountain jammer gets out. She decides, I'll switch to defense. Rambo Sambo's got to play smarter, though, because right there, unfortunately, she paid the price. She waits a little bit too long, gets pushed back, decides to call it.
That was such a gutsy move there by Rambo Sambo. Uber Alice had gotten out of the pack, as you said. Rambo Sambo decided to try to play defense, recycle Uber Alice back into the pack. Uber Alice, though, with a nice move, came around on the inside, and Rambo Sambo was herself recycled back into the pack. So it's, you know, you've got to give Nashville credit there. That was a gutsy move.
Absolutely.
It didn't work out, but hey, I mean, why not?
Well, I think that's exactly right. We have 138 for Rocky Mountain. You have 48 for Nashville. It's not like it's going to be a huge detriment to try it. You know, we talk a little bit about the psychology of the game, but as we see right now, Nashville's still playing fairly smart. It just seems at this point they're just being outgunned. Penalties have been a bit of a factor, but not quite what we thought they would be. As we can see, Deranged still the leader for Mullen Monroe for Nashville, also at 4. Nobody quite at the point worrying about being kicked out as we have 16 and a half left to play in this game.
All right, so the jam has begun. We're about 30 seconds into this jam. Both teams, Rocky Mountain doing a slow start, Nashville allowing them to do it. We've got Triple Shot Misto on the jammer line for Rocky Mountain, and that is Lady Fury for Nashville. Smart, slow start there by Rocky Mountain. Burn off some clock. You've got to lead. You just want to kill the clock.
Yep, especially when you're looking at you're on a Friday. Do not injure. Just play smart. As we see, though, Nashville has nothing to lose at this point. They're going to go all out as best they can.
Triple Shot Misto playing some defense up front is Lady Fury. Knocked out of bounds, though. She avoids the track cut.
I'm going to give credit to her blocker who came in right as it looked like Lady Fury was going to come in. Blocker came up and almost got in her way. Jack You Up was just like, no, go back around. She's able to get around. She does not get that other penalty. Back in to see if she can get through.
So Triple Shot Misto in the back along with Lady Fury. Again, we are 5-on-4 now. We've got a, folks, we have a clock.
Let there be points.
Lady Fury shrugs off a hit there by Psychobabble. She's up front, though, with Echo. And I believe that is free to beat her. Both jammers just taking a beating here, Bam Bam. Oh, but up, out, and through. Finally, is Lady Fury. Took her 1 minute and 32 seconds of this jam, but she is out for lead jammer status as Triple Shot Misto, with a little help there, finally clears the pack, and you can see the fatigue now on Lady Fury's face.
Absolutely.
She's not skating anywhere near full speed.
No, and she worked that one the hard way. Even though at the very end it looked like 20 feet, she was just getting through the pack when they had to let her up. Gets a bit of a tumble there. Does pick up 3 points in the interim, so that is going to bump them 51.
51 to 138, a huge hit there, a legal hit there by Psychobabble right at the end. Bam Bam, I want to go back to the track cut that was not. You're right, Lady Fury was about to re-enter the track, would have been a track cut. Her blocker got up on the jammer line, didn't engage her, but said, stay out of bounds. Really heads up play there by Nashville.
That was Union Jack you up.
Looks like we have a team timeout, I do believe.
Sure. Why not? Want to again thank the official bruise healer of the WFTDA. That is Dr. Hauschka. They have, of course, many, many other fine skincare products. I have to say, their lip balm, phenomenal, my friends. Phenomenal.
Speaking of phenomenal, the most phenomenal skates you could ever hope to own would be Rydell Skates. Not only amazing skates, but proud partner and the official skate of the WFTDA.
So after this game again is Kansas and Rose. The last game of the night, that is Friday, 7:15. That is going to be Mountain Time. Now, again, it might be a little bit pushed back because we had that issue with the scoreboard, so just stick with us. But we're going to have Philly Roller Girls and Naptown Roller Girls going at it to see who will play against Ole in the last game of the first seeding plays tomorrow. That is Saturday at 2:45 p.m.
Mountain Time.
One of the thankless jobs we're seeing illustrated right there on your screen, that is the official timekeeper. She gets people off the line. She keeps the time for us. We want to thank her for the job that she's doing. And, of course, all of the NSOs, the salmon or carnation-clad warriors that you see out there assisting the Zebras every bout.
We have Rambo Sambo versus Psychobabble. Excuse me, Deranged.
Yeah, you know, they play so similarly, you just can't tell them apart sometimes. They're just both frightening.
And up front is Rambo Sambo. She is lead jammer, Rambo Sambo for Nashville. And being called for a fourth minor is not Deranged. I thought we were about to have a power jam. Deranged does get out of the pack 70 feet behind Rambo Sambo, though, who's quickly coming into the pack here looking to score some points.
She is indeed. She's gotten lead jammer several times that she's been out there, but just not to the benefit of her points award. Looks like a bit of a high hit right there. I don't think that the referee saw it, but from our perspective, looked like an elbow came up, knocked her in the face, and probably elicited the, I think it's a good time to just slow things down.
Yeah, Psychobabble with a hit there. I saw the elbow come flying myself, but again, the referees have a lot to look at, so it might have looked legal from their perspective. The hit could very well have ended, and then the elbow would have continued up. So if the elbow extending away from the body had no impact on the skate, then that would have been a very appropriate no call by the refs.
Well stated.
Thank you. All right, Lady Fury coming back to the jammer line for Nashville, and I believe that is Uber Alice yet again for Rocky Mountain.
Remember, you have 13 minutes to get back to us. Talk to WFTDA, hashtag talk, the number 2, WFTDA. Let us know what you are thinking out there as you are watching the second game of the championship tournament of the 2011 season.
Both teams doing a no skate, slow start. There goes Nashville. Remember, all you have to do is skate forward, and the refs will blow that whistle.
Yeah, at this point, you have to wonder what was Nashville taking a little while for, but as you see right there, they're able to just pull it up a little bit. Jammer's now off the line. Outside, Rocky Mountain sees she can make a move. She gets knocked up. She's going to be able to get back in.
Oh, and coming around untouched. Lady Fury, though, Amanda Jamininha gets back up front. We'll see what she can do. Pack all spread out. There's the pack up front, though. And up and out. Lead jammer, Lady Fury for Nashville.
You can see Frangiosa pointing her. That's the indicator. Left hand is up. Right finger is out, extending. That is your lead jammer.
So Uber Alice still on her initial pass. She's got Rock Nasty in front of her. Very quick moving pack here. Almost disadvantage for Nashville as Lady Fury is, again, trying to just re-engage the pack to score points, but it's moving so quick. Uber Alice does get out of the pack, and Rocky Mountain has all 4 of their blockers up front. It's a very quick pack, so they can continue to skate quickly as both teams, remember, are responsible for maintaining the speed of the pack.
As we can see, Pack, like you say, moving very quickly. Black is at the front. White has control more of the back. Pivot trying to get back up into position. Right now, White trying to get through as it looks like Uberal is just trying to catch up to the Pack, keeping pretty much an even speed.
Beautiful, beautiful Arizona Bay here by Rocky Mountain. They've got all 4 of their blockers unable to re-engage the Pack to score points. Excuse me, they did score 1 point.
It's the power of Nashville. Able to pick up 1 in that. So that is going to take them up to 55. Again, we want to thank you for sticking with us. We got our scoreboard back up so you can play along at home. Rocky Mountain 138, Nashville 55.
We're seeing a really nice crowd here for a Friday afternoon game. Obviously, it helps that we're playing in the home of Rocky Mountain. But a very nice crowd here coming out to check out the WFTDA Championships.
As we see, number 27, she has been effective so far. She's got those elbows in tight. She wants to make sure that she is not fouling on that pass. So DeRange is going to see if she can get up.
Rambo Sambo, meanwhile, jamming for Nashville. Both jammers stuck in the Pack. Very slow moving. Only 1 blocker is in the penalty box is Rock Nasty, but she's standing.
Nice move from the Nashville Pigeon. She just gets that elbow down in, leads with the shoulders, able to get back in front of DeRange. Now she is at the back of the Pack. Assistance is coming.
And coming around is DeRange. She's lead jammer for Rocky Mountain.
Oh, Pack starts to fall apart there as it just breaks up all over to the infield and out. People are getting down. They're going to be able to get back up on their feet. DeRange is going to take easy advantage of that. She's just got to skate and get back around to the Pack, which is now together.
Oh, and a solid hit by Erkin Jerkin. Forces Rambo Sambo out. Meanwhile, DeRange comes back into the Pack. And a major track cut being called on Rambo Sambo as the jam ends. I believe that was a track cut.
That's the call that we saw. Now, it looked like there was a bit of a contention because she had gotten knocked out, but it looks like a penalty had been assessed to the person that had knocked her out. So it looks like she may have thought that she was free to come back into position, though it might have been a minor and she just misread it. I'm not quite sure, but it looked like either way. Richie said, no, that was a cut. You have to go to the box.
So with under 10 minutes left now, 140-55, the women in black from Rocky Mountain versus the women in white from Nashville. Frida Beater jamming all by herself for Rocky Mountain as this is a power jam. And we're going to go the full minute as Rambo Sambo did not sit until the jam was over. Out for lead, Frida Beater.
Indeed, not a position she is unfamiliar with. But as we can see, she has only got 2 to assist her on the track right now. Full 4 block, a nice bit of a wall right there. Interesting as she can come up. Now, you may be able to see she can make contact. She can use her teammate as a battering ram. If she doesn't make contact with that wall of white, she is not going to draw the penalty for it.
That is correct. Blah, 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 blah. In that situation, would have gotten a minor black block if it had been called. Did not see it. Either way, through for a grand slam, and a really smart play is Frida Beater.
Indeed. That way she's going to make sure that she can just rack those up. She's going to get 5 more and just continue to build it up. 90 points right now between the 2 teams.
Frida Beater very patient here, waiting for her opportunity. It's there. She takes it. She's out. 5 more points. Grand slam for Frida Beater.
Susan thought she could get a piece of her, was not able to do it. Decides it's just not worth the risk. Got to reposition it. She's going to come back around now.
Rambo Sambo standing. Rambo Sambo out. Power jam is over.
3 re-enter. We just have 1 more right now. Blocker in the box for Nashville.
Now oh, nice move. Frida Beater shrugged off a hit. She stayed inbounds for another grand slam. Now, I saw an illegal procedure called there as all of there was Rambo Sambo plus 2 Rocky Mountain blockers all entered essentially at the same time. One of them got an illegal procedure. We'll be curious to see how that plays out. Meanwhile, though, Frida Beater coming back into the Pack, scoring points yet again, Bam Bam.
As we can see, moving around, Susan just tries. You know, at least she doesn't give up. She's trying to get into it. She just cannot contain Frida Beater. At least she can think to slow her down just a little bit. Hopefully not let her get another full pass in around the clock. As we see her once again getting to a point where she can engage. Jammer getting caught up for Nashville in the middle. Looks like, unfortunately, she is not playing offense or defense at this point. Just trying to wait for an opportunity that is not going to present itself.
Oh, and Frida Beater untouched on the inside line. Goes ahead and calls it off. 5 more points, grand slam. Rocky Mountain really just opening it up right now. Now, Bam Bam, here is a thought. We have seen in the past the number 2 and 3 seeds that come out of Friday's competition typically have a harder time going up against the number 1 seeds. If for no other reason, they've already skated a game. The number 1s are spending Friday sitting. However, Rocky Mountain clearly with an advantage as you figure in the altitude factor. Gotham, who they'll be skating against tomorrow at sea level, We're well above sea level here in Denver. At what point does the fatigue factor of having played a game versus Gotham's fatigue factor of skating at altitude come into play?
I got to say that's a tremendous question, and I would like to reference how Nashville has played at that. Nashville not known for their great elevations, but they have played to the point where Rocky Mountain is also starting to look tired as Nashville is. So I think that you have to take that into effect, but you do have an opportunity to rest. As you can see, Nashville not giving up quite yet, still powering through with about 6 minutes left to play.
That is Rock Nasty on the jammer line for Nashville, but out for lead jammer, Queen Elizabeth. Now, Bam, you talk about fatigue. We've seen Rocky Mountain not jam their usual cadre of Psychobabble Deranged. It's been many jammers who are the not traditional jammers out there working this game. See if they're saving their legs for tomorrow, as we've got a major track cut on Rock Nasty Power Jam for Rocky Mountain.
And I think that goes to your point where you're saying that, you've got everybody rested for Gotham, even though you've got the elevation factor as a benefit. As we can see continuing right there, if Queen Elizabeth gets around, she gets 5 more points. But that might be the strategy, is they're just going to keep putting them in, let them work a little bit hard, save some of those jammers as you can for tomorrow.
Queen Elizabeth called it off there, then looked over to the bench. I wasn't sure why you would call it off there. You have a power jam, you have lead jammer status, unless at that point you're just really trying to get some of the clock down.
Yeah, I think also the bench had the same reaction, which was that was not the signal that they were getting. I think as she was going over to the bench, as you can see right there, she's having a little bit of a conversation. Just yanks her teammate, get out there. So as weird miscommunication can happen very often, very easily in this game. So as you say, at least it's not going to hurt them at this stage, as we have 170 to 55.
Erkin Jerkin on the jammer line for Rocky Mountain. Rocky Mountain did take a knee to start the jam, so trying to get as much of this power jam back as they can. Wow. Nice move by Erkin Jerkin coming around on the outside, but she's forced out of bounds. She'll recycle.
You can really see why she has that name. I mean, she just gets herself, her knees are one direction, her feet are the other, her body's, it's just every which way she gets through, and she's able to do exactly that. To become lead jammer right now, she gets a nice, easy pass, breaks it up to the middle, as we only had one out there.
Mullen Monroe was sent to the penalty box for a major out-of-play penalty on the prior pass by Erkin Jerkin, but the penalty box is already full of Nashville blockers, so she's sent back. The micro pack for Nashville not doing them any favors as Erkin Jerkin comes through on the inside for another grand slam, 5 points.
Indeed, it still took her out of play, made an easy pass right there for Rocky Mountain. In the meantime, Nashville, Rock Nasty is going to be back in, jamming, trying to get around, and she does. Amanda Jamadenia you can acknowledge she didn't even make the right move. She moved to the outside, Rock Nasty to the inside. Now she is through, but Rocky Mountain back and scoring pass.
And Erkin Jerkin comes around untouched on the outside, sees Rock Nasty, and looks to her bench, then calls it off. Bam Bam, we've talked extensively about the fatigue factor by Nashville. You got to give huge props here to Rock Nasty. She has not slowed down one bit. You saw on that last jam, came out of the penalty box, skated full speed. Clearly, you can see the amount of time left on the clock, less than 3 minutes. You can see the score differential, 130 points. But she's skating full speed, 100% effort out there for Nashville.
Nashville definitely going to continue to put on a show, though they're using up potentially their last time out.
So with that timeout, you've got some time to rest up your team. Nashville clearly thinking about today's done, this tournament season is done, but looking to the future. Nashville's one of these teams that was knocking on the door in the South Central region when it was just Texas and Kansas City and really no one else. Almost who wanted to take it with Houston and Dallas and teams like that coming in for that third spot. Nashville now last year was sort of that anomalous team that made it to the championship level, but this year an astounding victory over Atlanta. Almost 200 points was their victory over Nashville in the South Central Regional third place game. So I think they're looking at this as a learning opportunity. Let's take a time out here. Let's regroup. Let's have a strong 3 minutes and really try to have a couple of jams that we can build on for next year, because this is clearly their goal, is not just making it to championships as they've done it 2 years in a row, but winning a game and beginning to make a presence for themselves on the national stage.
Well, and as we also talked about, this is one of those games that people were going to give to Rocky right before it had even started, and unfortunately it was potentially the worst draw for a team to get. Whoever goes up against last year's champion is always going to be seen as a bit of an underdog.
Yeah, the number 2 seed in the West is no fun for anyone. All right, so we got Rambo Sambo against D-Range. We've got D-Range lead jammer for Rocky Mountain. That took her about 30, 40 feet of the track.
In about 4 or 5 seconds, but she's able to do it.
And going for another trip to the penalty box is Psychobabble.
Rambo Sambo, in the meantime, gets a nice little jersey whip off of Lady Fury, knocks her down, is able to get back up. Though Lady Fury gets up, busts it up at the back, so is able to get around. Though 5 more points for Rocky Mountain as they go now 189 with 240. They might get to the double century mark.
Rambo Sambo is out of the pack. Deranged finishes the scoring pass, calls it off. That's going to be likely 4 more points. Yep, 4 more points. Deranged gives a big thumbs up to the crowd, and they respond enthusiastically in kind. 193 to 55. You have to think Rocky Mountain probably is looking at the scoreboard right now going, yeah, let's get to 200.
As you see, nice bit of a replay. Again, we've seen that move continuously from Rambo Sambo. Get spun around again and again, but that type of blocking, Rocky has been all over the place with that. As long as they're skating the correct direction, they're just moving backward, hip block, knocks her to the inside. Rambo Sambo able to stay on her feet. I don't know how she does it.
You saw a beautiful set and spike there, blah, blah, blah. Set up Rambo Sambo, held her just on the outside line. Rambo Sambo was a legal target, and Amanda jam it in. You finished with a huge hit there to knock her down. Jam has begun.
We sit at 146 potentially. It looks like our jam clock and period clock are matching up quite nicely, syncing up, if you will.
We've got Rock Nasty going up against Erkin Jerkin. Rock Nasty up around. Rock Nasty lead jammer for Nashville. We talked about her energy. We talked about her lack of wit. And we're seeing here she is lead jammer.
Indeed. So this might be the last one. I think they're just going to try to go out with a bang, and we've seen Rock Nasty do that throughout the course of this game. It might just push all the way through. No reason to stop it. Just try and get as many points as you can. Go out on that high note.
Well, we'll see as Erkin Jerkin is out and coming in, and Rock Nasty does call it off. So good derby strategy there.
Yep, just had the advantage, was not able to keep it, decides to call it up for too much losses sustained.
So we click down to 1 minute left in the game. We'll have time for more than likely one jam. Uber Alice coming to the jammer line for Rocky Mountain. And who else? It's Rambo Sambo for Nashville. Rambo Sambo scored 21 points of the 58, so almost over a full third of Nashville's points have been scored today by Rambo Sambo.
And most of those were in the first half. She sat at 18 for some time. Just her last time out was she able to get up that 3. Rock Nasty doing a great job, as well as Lady Fury. At this time, though, it's all about Rambo Sambo getting up if she can get through the front of the pack, and she is doggedly determined, but
both jammers out. Who is lead jammer? It is Uber Alice for Rocky Mountain.
You got to imagine they're just going to be watching the bench, watching the clock.
And fourth minor is Rambo Sambo. That's got to be disappointing. You're going to finish this game in the penalty box wearing the jammer star.
Indeed. So at this point, it's just all about clock burn, all about very smart. As you saw, Uber Alice, she was to the inside. She could not afford to go over. She'd have been sent out.
I don't know why she's engaging the pack, honestly. Just hang back.
Yep, why risk any type of...
You're really risking going to the penalty box. She does complete a scoring pass. There's the clock 0. There's the call-off. That's the game. Final score, 198 to 58.
Oh,
so our matchup is set for tomorrow, 11:15 a.m. live here from Colorado. Gotham Girls Roller Derby versus the Rocky Mountain Roller Girls. A replay of last year's bout. But one of these teams is going to get into the Final Four, and one of those teams is going to go home, Bam Bam.
Well, we've been talking a little bit about it, and the idea of elevation being a factor. Everybody had talked about for the last year, once it had been established that it was going to be here in Denver, that Denver Roller Dolls were going to be putting on this tournament. You have that mile-high altitude change. Oxygen is not the same. What is going to be the change in training strategy? What is going to be the fatigue factor? And as we saw, Nashville, definitely a factor, but not as significant as people had speculated.
Yeah, I think Rocky Mountain really almost had a nice draw there as they play arguably the lowest ranked team of the 12 that are here, so they not nearly pushed as much as they played, for example, a Kansas City, a Rose City, or a Minnesota Roller Girls even. So they're going to go in very fresh tomorrow against Gotham. We are going to see the 2008 champions versus the 2010 champions. Only one of them will again remain in contention for 2011.
All right, John Maddening here on WFTDA.com along with Deranged. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
Now, first half, a lot of people in the stands that we were talking to thought you guys really should have been a lot farther out there, but you really seemed to turn on the gas in the second half. What were your thoughts coming out of halftime?
Well, honestly, we have to take it a little bit easy. We know we have a really hard game coming up tomorrow, and we just wanted to take it a little bit easy, figure out what we needed to do, and then the second half we came out and figured out what we needed to do.
All right, yeah, speaking of that, second game tomorrow, Gotham You played them twice. You won one, you lost one. What do you think going into this?
I think it is going to be a very difficult game, but we've been training hard. We're ready for it, and it's going to be a lot different game than it was today.
All right. Now, you didn't make it in the first place in Westerns this year, so you had to play a game the first day. Now, does that help or hurt getting a win under your belt? What do you think about that?
I think it helps because you actually get out there, get to play, get a feel of the track. You know, our fans are out here, so it was nice to play the first day for our fans also. So it's good having home field advantage as well.
All right. Thanks very much. Congratulations on the win. Sleep up tonight. You got a tough game tomorrow.
Yes, we do. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks very much. Back to you.